Good evening, it's Spooky Boo Rhodes coming to you from Sandcastle, California. Tonight I have for you two very creepy stories from the internet. These stories from the Darknet may or may not be true, but either way, I warn you to never go there, for you never know what you might find. Now let's begin. A link in my message app ruined my life. I want to tell you this story for me. I have never told it to anyone before, but I need the world to know. I started using social media a lot in 2020. Since I had to work from home because of COVID, I spent a lot of time chatting on social media sites. Not because I wanted to chat with people, but because there was a lot of downtime while waiting for orders to come in. Social media was kind of like my water cooler as I waited. I mean, we all talk to people in the office during downtime, so I figured it was the same. I tried hard to avoid it, but working from home got boring really fast. Maybe some of the coworkers were on a certain popular social media network, so I could ask them questions about the work I'm doing, and they could ask me questions as well. What I found, however, is that people didn't want to talk about work on social media. They wanted to talk about everything else but work, and I got into that habit as well. Soon I was reloading my news feed every few minutes just to see who was out there and what they were posting. I felt terrible about it until others at work were liking my new posts. I soon eased into the flow, and during downtime, that is all I did. I began getting friend requests from one account that seemed rather odd. It was an account that I think was duplicated to look like a friend's account. I checked on my friend, and she hadn't posted in about a year, which I figured was really odd because I was sure I had seen posts from her lately, but all of these posts were gone. When I messaged the new account, she said that the old one had been hacked, and she created this new one, so I accepted the friend request right away. For a few days I didn't hear from her, so I decided to check on the new account. She was posting some really weird things that weren't of family or friends. I recognized some of them from people I knew, but they were close-ups like eyeballs and mouths and other parts of the body. I thought it was really weird that she would blow up parts of pictures and share them. She did write horror stories in her spare time, so maybe she was just practicing making scary stuff, and honestly, she was doing a really good job of it. I just ignored the pictures and went on with my day. The next day I get a message from someone I didn't really know that said, "Hey, do you know that Mandy friend of yours? Can you get her to stop duplicating my pictures?" I unfriended her because I saw one of my kids' pics on her timeline, and I know all of my pics are private. I just put up another one, and she somehow got access to it and did it again. I replied and said okay. I went to her page, and I'll tell you, the pictures weren't what I expected. There were pictures of Stan's kids, but they were weird. They were discolored close-ups of the faces, and almost ash-green color with sunken-in eyes, like they were dead. I told her, hey, that's not right to take someone else's pictures of their kids and make them look dead, but she ignored me. I don't even think she read the message and continued to manipulate new pictures of Stan's family. Stan finally got sick of it and deleted his account, but the pictures Mandy put up were still there. Soon she moved on to someone else, uploading even more illicit pictures of other people's kids online. Some were dead-looking through photo manipulation, and others were really inappropriate, like pictures of them sleeping or in the bath. Some pictures she had even replaced the heads or the bodies of the kids with other pictures, and oftentimes in extremely inappropriate clothing or positions. I decided to report the account as fake because this was all wrong. I unfriended her account and tried to block her, but when I either tried to block or report the account, then the website gave me an error, which I found rather odd. I decided to just warn a bunch of people, so I blasted the account profile and told people to hide the pictures of their family members and to block this person if possible. That is when the other strangeness started. Now, I don't have kids, so no pictures of mine were posted or exploited, so I was grateful for that, but this person started sending me really weird, images of people of all ages. They looked like they had just been taken as unintentional selfies. Many of the images were just random, like a face or an eye, sometimes their feet. As the day went on, the pictures became more and more inappropriate. I tried to mute the messages, but even after I received a confirmation of the muted account, I received even more pictures. I then started getting hundreds of friend requests from the same account name. It got even worse, though. A friend wondered why I was sending her pictures of me naked in the bathroom. I told her I wasn't and that I never take pictures of myself naked. She believed me, thank God, and I told her to report the account doing it, because it obviously was a fake account pretending to be me. But she said there were messages from our previous conversations. I told her that I didn't care and to report it anyway. When she did, she got the error messages that I got from before. I didn't know what else to do but to call the police. When I did, they said they couldn't do anything since the person was out of state and gave me the URL to the FBI. I submitted the information and then deleted the app from my phone. A few days later, I got a call from the FBI who wanted me to confirm my account info. I tried to download the app and get back, but my password and everything had all been changed. I told them what I could and left it at that. They said they would look into it. About a week later, I got a call from a friend really mad at me for posting pictures of her that were on her phone that she took for her husband and wondered how I even got access to them. I said my social media account had been hacked and I didn't have any way to get into her phone and hung up. A few minutes later, the cops were at my door wondering why I had posted inappropriate pictures of the children on my account. I didn't. I already told them I had come to them to file charges against whoever was using my account, and they referred me to the FBI that day. They didn't believe me. They said it was a close neighbor and that I could have gotten the pictures from next door. I had to go down to the station and go through all of these interrogations with my attorney that I couldn't afford. It was total bull. I guess finally they believed me and let me go, but by then all of the neighbors had destroyed my lawn and front door. My landlord had come by to talk to me about it and gave me a 30-day notice for all of the damage that was done to the place because of me, but not by me. I had to move. I had to start over again because no one would believe me, even though it was cleared. It wasn't me. Here's what I think. When these scammers send out a link and you click on it, they send you to some website that can somehow get into your phone. I've never jailbreaked my phone, but they were able to change it so they could take pictures of me in the bathroom. They were able to then send those pictures to my friends and family. They got my bank account information and spent money and took out loans. They sent information about me that no one knew to my friends list, and then started friending other people that I didn't know, and those people were friending my friends. Those who fell for it and clicked on the link, the same thing happened to them. Then my credit card company sent me a message saying they were canceling all of my cards because someone was using them on the dark web. I received a few confirmation calls on someone trying to start loans under my name, and then of course there were a few pictures of me on the dark web that I didn't know about. Someone named Anon Rick contacted me on my home phone and told me that if I gave him $12,000, that he could get all of my information and pictures off of the dark web. Well, Anon Rick, I have no money left. I don't have a decent home, and I don't even have a job now. Thanks to your buddies and social media, I don't even have a credit card or a bank account. So you can go do to yourself what you did to me. You can go screw yourself, because there's nothing else you can do to me that you haven't done already. But I'm going to find you, Anon Rick, and when I do, there will be hell to pay. I was abducted on the dark web. I wish to remain anonymous because I don't want my family and friends to know what happened to me or my sordid past of what I was doing for a living. I'm sure everyone probably knew already because I had an income coming in, but I wasn't working outside of the house. I'm a divorced mom of 5 kids. I know that's a lot of kids, but I love every one of them. My ex left me when the last baby was born. He just took off, leaving me without money or even food for my babies. I had no idea he was going to do this, but I guess he had some hidden life I didn't know about. I found out later that he was wanted by the police for narcotics, and I had no idea. I was desperate, so I started working for this company I found on a popular internet classifieds website. The ad said they wanted to hire a secretary to handle mail for the company. I responded and got a call almost immediately. We did a one-way webcam interview. He said his webcam was broken, but he wanted to make sure that I was a real person and not someone trying to play a trick on him or scam him. I had to show him my ID and everything to prove it was me. I was hired the next day by the company. I was given a long list of instructions that said all I really had to do was accept postal mail from a company and then forward it to another in a new box. They sent me the supplies and everything. They paid for all of it. I would receive a weekly box full of my pay, postage stamps, and tape, and as the new mail came in, I would just put the old box into the new one without ever opening it and repackaging it in the new box. The new boxes looked like birthday present packages. I had no idea what I was sending, and I thought they were just birthday presents. My children were all fed, and it kept me off welfare. That's what I cared about. How was I to know that I could get in trouble for not even knowing what was in the boxes while working for someone else? One of the rules was to not keep a copy of the addresses I was receiving the packages from or to where they were going, but since I wanted to make sure that I was sending them to the right place, just in case I ever screwed up, I would take a picture of both addresses and file them under the day sent on my computer. I figured the guy who hired me would never know, and that would be it, except I was totally wrong. The feds came to my door about 3 months later with a warrant for my computer and to search the whole house. That very day the packages arrived to my address, and right in front of me they opened one of them. There were no birthday presents in those boxes. It was white powder that I thought might be drugs like heroin or cocaine or whatever comes in a powder. I didn't know. I had never taken drugs before. I found out later in court that it wasn't a drug, but some sort of biological agent that I found out was anthrax. I was unknowingly sending out anthrax. Since I could prove I didn't know what was going on, they sent me home. I still had a trial date because what I was distributing was illegal, even if I didn't know I was doing it. They cut my computer and went through all of the files I had on there and made many arrests. They took my kids, the very reason I started working, and called me a terrorist. I was all alone. I had no one. They allowed me to have a computer. I don't know why. Maybe to spy on me to see if I would do it again. Before my trial date, however, I received a private message from a social media website. "Hey, I have something fun for you. Click on this link." I clicked on it thinking it was someone who knew me. The link brought me to a website with no domain name, just a bunch of numbers. On it was a button that said "Click me," so I did just that. When nothing happened, I closed all of the windows and left the computer running, thinking it was just a stupid joke. That night, when I was getting ready for bed, I noticed the green light to my webcam was on. I went over to turn it off, and that is when 3 men busted into my house. 2 held me down while the other ripped my nightshirt down to my navel and pointed at the camera. He lit a cigarette, and I could see from his eyes and lips that he was smiling through his ski mask. He put the cherry of the cigarette up to my cheek close enough to where I could feel the heat, and then down to my chest, where he sighed loudly. He then brought it back up to my cheek again. He walked over to the computer and opened a browser window, where I could see myself and the men holding me still. I tried to get away, writhing and screaming, but it was no use. The man with the cigarette looked at me with a frown. "I told you not to write down any names," he said in a foreign accent that sounded like Russian, then ripped my shirt down even farther. At that point, tears were pouring down my cheeks. I didn't know what they were going to do. He got real close to me and whispered in my ear, "See that box at the bottom? They're bidding on you. One day they will come and get you, whether you're here or in your prison cell, and you will be picked up. I see they like you a lot. You're worth a lot of crypto to me." He then slapped my face and walked back over to the machine. I couldn't see the numbers through the tears, but I could see they were big numbers. When the bidding slowed down and the last number displayed, he smiled. "Very nice," is all he said, then packed everything up, including my computer, and left with the 2 men who were holding me down. I called the cops, and they took a report while still treating me like a criminal. The cops, the feds, attorneys, my governor, no one wanted to have anything to do with me. I'm writing this from my prison cell. They told me I got 5 years for aiding a terrorist. I didn't even know he was a terrorist. I didn't know what was in those boxes. It was all so innocent. The other prisoners in this federal prison treat me like trash because I was arrested for terrorism. I'm beat up daily and they steal my food. They make up stories about me so I will be forced to clean toilets or I am put in solitary confinement. Then I had a visitor one day who said my time was coming and that I would be removed from prison and taken to a nearby airport to be brought to the highest bidder on the dark web bidding site. I tried to tell the guards and they just laughed at me. My attorney told me that I shouldn't listen to silly people. No one believes me and I don't know what to do. Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed these stories, head on over to my website at www.scarystorytime.com and make a comment. You can also find me on social media by searching for Spooky Boo Rhodes. I'd like to thank the listeners and Patreon members, including Mad Joe, PA Nightmares, Ivy Iverson, John Newby, Patrick, and 933thevolt.com. If you would like to support the show, please visit my website at www.scarystorytime.com/support to find out how. I'd also like to welcome the H2O Wireless Network, where you can get a great deal on that iPhone you've always wanted. Let them know you want to listen too at www.iPhoneCrazy.com. Be sure to catch this and other dark web stories on my new YouTube channel called Darknet Horror Stories, or on my Saturday Night live stream at www.spookybooroads.com. That's all for tonight. I'll see you in your nightmares.